appear that hating on your country has some consequences. And unfortunately, Subway sandwich shop owners are finding that out the hard way. There is a growing backlash against the ultra-woke soccer player Megan Rapinoe. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the pressure Subway executives are feeling to ditch her ads, how President Trump helped contribute to this growing backlash, and why we can expect things to get even worse for woke warriors like Rapinoe. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you, as always. Before we get into things here, I have to say, a few months back, I started talking a lot about the building of what scholars call parallel polis, okay? A parallel society totally free from the virus of wokeness, right? You know what I'm talking about. From the absurdity of what passes as news today to all the cancel culture that we're seeing going on all around us. This is not the nation that we all know, love, and want to be a part of. So my team and I set out on a journey of restoration to find all the areas in society where patriots are right now building parallel structures so that they no longer have to be reliant in any way on woke corporations and businesses. And so for the last several months, we've been holding virtual conferences to introduce you to all of these amazing patriots and to show you how you can be a part of building a parallel world that's free from secular overreach and cancel culture and socialism and everything else that you hate about the current world around us. Well, as a result, you and I are now a movement of new conservative patriots who think clearly so we can establish ourselves and lead our families, our churches, and our communities to be free. And it is time for another special event. So I'm hosting a brand new Conservative Patriot Live virtual event, September 3rd and 4th, where I and several special guests will teach you to fight for and lead your community to freedom without sacrificing your beliefs, your values, your God-given rights. It's time once again to gather as new conservatives and together build back the nation that we love. So make sure to click on that link below right now to get your tickets for the event. And to make it even sweeter, you ready for this? Tickets are 90% off until Wednesday night. 90%, so don't wait. What are you doing? Click on the link below right now and register for our new Conservative Patriot Live event, September 3rd and 4th, and get ready to help build a society free from all things woke. You're going to absolutely love it. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. It is being widely reported that Subway franchises, particularly in red states across the nation, are calling their headquarters to immediately terminate their relationship with the ultra-woke soccer player Megan Rapinoe. Now, as many of you know, Rapinoe has been starring in Subway's latest ad campaign, but that's been turning off a number of Subway customers, so much so that Subway franchise owners have been calling for the commercials to be canceled. The owners reportedly are getting tons of complaints from angry customers who have pledged to boycott Subway until they ditch Rapinoe. So, for example, one owner reported getting a letter taped to the door of his Subway shop which read, quote, "Boycott Subway until Subway fires the anti-American Megan Rapinoe, the creep who kneels for our beloved national anthem." And so more and more owners have become increasingly vocal in that they feel like they have to advocate for their customers and tell headquarters to pull these advertisements. They're simply bad for business because while the woke left may admire Rapinoe, there are plenty of Subway customers that find her vile and repulsive. Now, if you don't know, when it comes to the virus of wokeness, Rapinoe is about as infected as one could possibly get. She hates President Trump. She made that absolutely clear. I mean, a couple of years back before the World Cup, she turned heads by saying that if the women's team wins the championship, she would not under any circumstances ever attend the ceremony at the White House celebrating their win. But as it turned out, President Trump shot back. He got the better of her, calling her out for not only disrespecting our nation in her consistent kneeling during the national anthem to show her fidelity to BLM and all that, but also on talking before she won. He tweeted, "Yo, Megan, you should win first, then talk." And Trump did it again. I don't know if you saw this, but after the U.S. women's soccer team lost to Sweden in a humiliating defeat, President Trump said this.
Wokeism makes you lose, ruins your mind, and ruins you as a person. You become warped, you become demented. The U.S. women's soccer team is a very good example of what's going on. Earlier this week, they unexpectedly lost to Sweden 3-0. And Americans were happy about it.
I love it. You become warped and demented. This is what wokeism does to the human person. And it's because of precisely what we talked about in a video a couple of weeks back on the women's soccer embarrassment. Wokeism destroys any semblance of loyalty and fidelity to my neighbor and replaces that loyalty and fidelity to an ideology. And as far as these Subway franchise owners across the country are concerned, wokeism is very bad for business. After all, right? Get woke, go broke. That's exactly what they're experiencing. And if you're a regular to this channel, you know precisely why they're experiencing this massive backlash against Rapinoe. And we've talked about this in a number of other videos. What the CEOs at Subway seem to get here, or seem to not get, is that we live in an age known as consumer politics, okay? Our age is one that's, the economy is going through a kind of reconfiguration in terms of where more and more people are intentionally buying from companies that promote and support their political commitments, while at the same time refusing to purchase from those companies that actively oppose their politics. And so consumer politics generally involves what are called boycotts and boycotts, okay? So boycotts are obviously the intentional refusal to purchase from companies that offend our political values, and boycotts are intentional purchases from companies that support our political values. And this is contributing to the increasing partisan nature of the marketplace. Companies are more and more being divided up between liberal corporations that are represented by woke leftists like Megan Rapinoe on the one hand, and more conservative companies that remain devoted to nation, culture, custom, and tradition. And we saw both of these trends, of course, with President Trump himself. He launched a boycott with Goya food products, right? You remember that? After Goya's CEO praised President Trump, there was a massive call among leftists to boycott Goya food products. And President Trump came to the rescue, as it were. He gave his full support for Goya and called on Americans to go out and intentionally buy Goya products to show our support. And as a result, what happened? Goya food sales skyrocketed. The outpouring of support was almost immediate. Goya gained over 100,000 Facebook followers within 24 hours after the boycott was launched. Mark Levin called on his millions of listeners to go out and buy Goya products and supported this CEO. James Woods as well called on his over 2 million Twitter followers to do the same. But consumer politics also works in the other direction as well, right? Now, I'm sure you remember what happened to Goodyear tires a year back or so. If you don't remember what happened, an employee at Goodyear Tires snapped a screenshot of the corporation's dress code policy. Do you remember this? And you can clearly see from the screenshot, according to the higher-ups at Goodyear, there is accepted attire and there's unacceptable attire. And under the acceptable attire, you got the BLM logos and slogans. You wear anything LGBTQ, you name it. But when it came to unacceptable dress, the list included Blue Lives Matter slogans, All Lives Matter. Think about that. That was banned by Goodyear. Just let that hit you. All Lives Matter, and the piece de resistance, anything MAGA related. And this is not just simply unacceptable, right? MAGA slogans weren't just unacceptable, or All Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter. They weren't just this was a zero tolerance unacceptability. Goodyear had implemented a zero tolerance, no exceptions policy on anything related to MAGA attire or All Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. So Trump finds out about this, and what does he do? He taps into these dynamics of consumer politics, which he knows all too well. And so he took to Twitter and he said, don't buy Goodyear tires, right? They announced a ban on MAGA hats. Get better tires for far less, right? And this is what the radical left Democrats do. Two can play the same game, and we have to start playing it now. That, my friends, is pure consumer politics. We can boycott from companies that support our values like Goya, and we can most certainly boycott companies that disdain and deride our values. And so that's what we're seeing with Subway. You have a soccer celebrity who uses her celebrity status to disrespect and malign our nation, and then these Subway executives turn around and give her a lucrative advertisement deal. And so Subway customers are telling more and more store owners, screw you. Get rid of Rapinoe or we're going to get rid of you. So it does look like Rapinoe is getting her just desserts in all this. She disrespects the anthem and the flag. Patriots are simply repaying her in kind. We'll most certainly keep an eye on how things play out here, but it does appear that these Subway store owners are indeed learning the hard way. Get woke, go broke. Now, before we go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on how the nation of France is erupting over vaccine passports. We have some pretty amazing video footage coming out of Paris. It's going to absolutely blow your mind. You'll definitely want to check it out. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.